Hello viewers, welcome to Ekam IAS Academy. Today we are going to discuss about an interesting island which has been in debate between two countries and which has been a controversy that has created political rifts between different parties in India. So there is also a rift between center and states also with respect to this regard. So what is the island we are referring to? That is Kachativu Island. You can see here we have Sri Lanka. Okay, so when there is India and Sri Lanka here, okay, this is Sri Lanka, here we have Park Strait going on, and here we have an island which is like you can say uninhabited, means there is no one living over the island. So here we have this Kachativu. So both India and Sri Lanka are claiming that this Kachativu island is part of their territory. So what is the role of Indira Gandhi's regard, and why in the recent times it has created again a political blame game in India, and what is the stand of union government and how it became part of Sri Lanka, and why Tamil Nadu is always objecting, and why it is saying the 1974 agreement between India and Sri Lanka which was signed. Okay, so that entire agreement as unconstitutional. Even Tamil Nadu government under Jayalalitha, they went to Supreme Court also challenging this agreement which was signed during Indira Gandhi's tenure. So we'll be looking into the geography of this island, what happened in the background and what are the consequences later on, and what is the 1974 agreement, how did it restrict the Indian fishermen, and we'll also look at the in between a brief discussions or brief introduction about the bilateral relations between both India as well as Sri Lanka. Okay, in this regard, let's see the island of Kachativu. So as I told you here, India and Sri Lanka has maritime boundary with each other. That is a basic thing you know. And here you have one strait which is separating India and Sri Lanka, that is called Park Strait. You know very well that normally strait means which separates two major water bodies. This is a narrow water body which separates two water bodies. Then what are the two bodies which are getting separated by this Park Strait? It is on the other side we have Arabian Sea, on this side we have Bay of Bengal. So these are the two main things. And if you know, this Kachativu island is located in the Park Strait region between Rameshwaram. This is a temple town in Indian part. Okay, so between Rameshwaram of India as well as we have Jaffna. Here we have Jaffna, that is the northeastern territory of Sri Lanka, where most of the Tamilians from India, they have settled there. Okay, so this is located between them, and here you have this most important place in terms of environment and ecology, that is Gulf of Mannar, where we have number of coral reefs also. And you know, Gulf of Mannar is only marine biosphere reserve in India. So these are the aspects when you're reading, you have to interconnect like this. Okay, so it is a marine biosphere reserve, and you know, most importantly, one famous species, that is dugong, or we call sea cow, right? Okay, this already UPSC has asked a question on this species. So it is very much famous in the Gulf of Mannar Biosphere Reserve and the sanctuaries. Okay, so now in this regard, let us discuss what we are discussing about Kachativu Island. Okay, before looking into the topic, just we'll have a quick glance of what happened and what is there as part of this controversy. So why this Kachativu Island we are discussing? Because after explaining all the concept, then I will go through the slides. Okay, so that will be easy for you, so that it will be like a revision after when we revise. Okay, so Kachativu Island, as I told you, this is located in Park Strait between India and Sri Lanka. So first what you have to remember is, so what happened is, why we are discussing, because in the recent time, yesterday itself if you have seen, and even today also, so Prime Minister has rebuked against the opposition party that because of the opposition party's decisions only, this Kachativu, which is an Indian territory, went to the Sri Lanka. But in again retaliation, what the opposition blame, because of your inability only, we have Chinese intrusions into India, and many of the Indian territories are being occupied by China. So in this way, it led to a political blame game. We should not go into those things as part of our exam preparation, but what we have to focus is on what is this island and what is its significance between in bilateral relations between India as well as Sri Lanka. So first you have to remember this Kachativu Island, where is it located? Park Strait, as I told you. Okay, so this is a geographical location, and you have to remember this is uninhabited island. Uninhabited means no one is there. Why nobody is there in this era? Because there is no drinking water supply to this island. Okay, there is no source of drinking water. That is why it is inhabited, almost uninhabited. You can say almost 285 acre land is there as part of this Kachativu Island. Okay, so there is only one famous thing associated here is Saint Anthony's Church. Okay, so this was constructed by Indian fishermen previously, but this was subsequently damaged, and in 2016 itself Sri Lankan Navy has again reconstructed or modernized this church. So annually one festival will happen as part of this celebrations. Only then this persons, okay, either from Indian territory or from Sri Lankan territory, the fishermen who used to go there, they will take part of this annual pilgrimage or celebration, you can say. Then how it is formed, this Kachativu Island, you know, if you know geography well, you understand most of the islands will be formed by volcanic eruptions, right? Volcanic activity or volcanic eruptions has created this island. According to the records, it may be created around 14th century, okay? Then what happened in 15th century, you know, Portuguese came to India, no? In 15th century, Portuguese have inhabited this island, okay? So they have used this island, that is according to some records. Then what happened during the British rule, you know, British rule, at the time, Governor of Madras, okay, so Robert Park is there, so that person has named that strait on his name as Park Strait. So after that, what happened during the British rule, there is a kingdom in the coast of Tamil Nadu. Here we have kingdom, okay, small kingdom of Ramanand we call, or Ramanadpura we are calling in the present day, okay. So this king, okay, along with British, they had some negotiations or agreements signed with respect to leasing rights in terms of fishing or fishermen rights, or even with respect to dyeing the clothes also, they have given some agreements on lease. So in this context also, in the agreements which are signed between British rule or British India as well as this king of Ramanand, so at that time there is a mention of Kachativu. That means this was concluded in Indian territory only. That from that agreement we can derive that at that time they consider this as Indian territory, and Sri Lanka did not claim at that point of time. So this is what all happened pre-independence. Then what happened post-independence? After independence, 1947 also, there is, like, we didn't even assert that this is our territory, but this has been a dispute between India and Sri Lanka. So Sri Lanka is saying that this territory has been ours, and India is also saying this is our territory. So why they both of them are mainly fighting for this island? Because it is located on the Park Strait area, which is very important. At the same time, it is having very high fishing potential, fishing ground, you can say. So the people, in case if it is now belonging to, now currently it is under Sri Lankan occupation, okay. So but in case if it is under Sri Lankan occupation, that means if India fishermen reaches this island, then what happens? Sri Lankan Navy will arrest them, and also they can detain them. That is what the issue. That is why if you have seen in international relations in GS paper 2, when you refer to bilateral relations, all the time you have to mention between India and Sri Lanka relations, one major issue is fishermen issue, because this has been a dispute between two countries, okay. So knowingly or unknowingly, sometimes India fishermen are crossing the boundary, at the same time Sri Lankan fishermen are also crossing into Indian maritime boundary. So as there is no clear-cut demarcation in terms of maritime boundary, this has created a dispute in terms of fishing. So both sides persons were arrested and they were kept as prisoners, and again subsequently when there are bilateral exchanges and all, these persons got released and all. That is another side of the story. So this is all what happened. Then what happened in 1974-76 period, when Indira Gandhi was the prime minister, okay. So at that time, who was the president of Sri Lanka? Sirimavo Bandaranaike. She was the first female president in the world, okay. So and another important thing is, even she was also the daughter of former president like Indira Gandhi. She was the daughter of former prime minister, no, like this they have some correlations and they have good nexus between them. And to resolve this issue, what they have signed is, they have signed India-Sri Lanka Maritime Boundary Agreement. Maritime Boundary Agreement was signed. That means they have clearly agreed upon some boundary. According to this boundary agreement, what happened? This Kachativu Island went to Sri Lanka. That means it was ceded to Sri Lanka. So then, if you have remembered the concepts in polity very well, under preamble there is one famous case which we call as Berubari Union case. No? In that case, what is the main question? In case if any Indian territory, a part of Indian territory was ceded to another country, does it require parliamentary approval or not? This is the main question before the Supreme Court. No? What did Supreme Court say in that case, even like in case if there is an exchange or if you're taking any territory into India, there is no parliamentary approval required or there is no constitutional amendment required. But in case if you're giving Indian territory to another country, that means you're ceding the territory, then it should be given approval by the parliament. At the same time, it requires constitutional amendment. That is what the judgment no. But here what happened, the main opposition parties, even Tamil Nadu government under the then Jayalalitha, so then they were also claiming that as this Kachativu Island was traditionally Indian territory, how Indian government under Indira Gandhi can cede this to Sri Lankan government without any parliamentary approval. Okay, there is no constitutional amendment and there is no parliamentary approval also. Just by a bilateral agreement, they have given this to Sri Lanka. So please make it unconstitutional and void. That is what the stand of Tamil Nadu government. So under Karunanidhi or be it under Jayalalitha, both have raised this issue at the central level and they have always pressurized the center and they have even taken this matter to Supreme Court. From then it was under sub judice. That means it was pending. So what we'll be looking into, what happened, I have explained, and what is the stand of the union government. At the same time, what are the relations between India and Sri Lanka in a quick way we'll discuss. Okay, so this is a backdrop of the issue. So this is a Kachativu controversy. Why in news I have explained. When did this become part of in Sri Lanka means in 1974-76 period when Indira Gandhi was the Prime Minister. Okay, so that is why this has created a political blame game between now ruling party as well as opposition party. Then how important has been this Kachativu to fisher folk, I told you. Both fishing communities from India and Sri Lanka, they wanted this because it has a huge potential for fishing in that area. Then what triggered this negotiations, I told you already. Okay, so then what was the agreement, how it was received assent and all, I will explain. So what is the stand of union government as well as Sri Lanka relations? These are the main things which we are discussing in this video. So what forms part of your syllabus is GS paper 2 IR, bilateral relations between India and Sri Lanka. I told you. Okay, Kachativu has created a political controversy between a ruling party and opposition. Okay, so when did Kachativu became part? I already told you in 1974-76 period. After that, Indian Sri Lanka maritime boundary agreement. Okay, so you know, as this agreement was signed. Okay, so now it was currently under Sri Lankan occupation. So that is why now in case if Indian fishermen will like unknowingly if they enter into this island, so then they can be arrested even or they can be detained by Sri Lankan Navy. So that is why Tamil Nadu government is always pressurizing Indian government so that their fishermen rights will be protected. Again, their political interests. So here you can see how important has been Kachativu to fisher folkmen, I told you. So both communities from both fishing communities from India and Sri Lanka both wanted this because of its huge potential. And you can see how it has received, I told you. So what happened subsequently. Okay, so British India, like under British India, as long as we have Ceylon, that is what we call as Sri Lanka in the previous times. No, so this was a matter of dispute only. So what Indian government is saying, as this is a matter of dispute, there is no clear-cut record that this is belonging to Indian territory. This was told by the former government which has ruled in the union level. So now we look into what is the Tamil Nadu's position. As I told you, Tamil Nadu is not accepting Kachativu as Sri Lankan territory, okay, to be part of Sri Lankan territory. They are saying that union government has to take back Kachativu from Sri Lanka and it is part of Indian territory because they have to safeguard their own fishermen communities' interests. So this is what you have to keep in mind. Then what is the stand of union government in this regard? So most importantly, you have to understand union government means, as I told you, in 2013 when this matter went to Supreme Court of India and it was challenged like against the union government decision. In 2013, you know, Congress government was in power in central level. So what happened? As I told you, Jayalalitha has raised this question in the Supreme Court saying that as there is no parliamentary approval for giving a territory of India to Sri Lanka or there is no constitutional amendment, so entire 1974-76 agreement which was signed between India and Sri Lanka will become unconstitutional or void. This is what, okay, this is what she highlighted and she wants to nullify this particular agreement. So what happened subsequently when union government was asked with respect to its decision, what did union government say? As this is always a disputed territory between India, British India and Ceylon at that point of time. It is not part of Indian territory. When we are not giving Indian territory and we are ceding it, okay, so how it will become part of secession or how it will be part of parliamentary approval or constitutional amendment. That is what the union government has given answer at that point of time. But what happened in 2022, now the union government is saying, okay, so the again government change happened, no? So now union government wants to claim this, okay, so they are saying this as matter is sub judice. Sub judice means it is pending before the court, okay, we are not going into in this issue again, and they're not affirming their stand, okay, so they're claiming. But what happened between India and Sri Lanka, what are the major things you need to remember? Right from the historical period also, ancient period also, we have good relations between India and Sri Lanka. You know, Ramayana is one major connect we have in terms of Hinduism, then Buddhism. You know, Ashoka also have sent many of his even daughter and son also to this to spread Buddhism to Sri Lanka and all that we have known. In the religious aspects we have, cultural aspect and historical aspect we have, and another important thing you have to keep in mind is both are ruled by British itself, okay, that means we are part of Commonwealth. And then what you have to remember, then India and Sri Lanka had good relations, okay, but one major issue is with respect to fishermen and no demarcation in the maritime boundary. Then what happened, if you have remembered, there is LTTE, liberation of Tamil Tiger Sealam, which was a like the people who got settled in Tamil Nadu, Tamilians who got settled in Sri Lanka, so they are fighting for their rights and they wanted to be recognized, okay, so for them they have led a civil protest, you can say, in the form of LTTE, against which the Sri Lankan government has launched a massive operation. And you know, again because of this only we have lost our former Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi, okay, 1991. Even in the recent times, if you have seen, Rajiv Gandhi assassins were given pardoning, okay, under Article 72, Rajiv Gandhi Paravilan case, under Article 142, if you have remembered, using the principles of natural justice, okay. So to do justice, Supreme Court has released because there is long delay in giving the mercy or pardoning powers, okay. So again a political thing. But what happened subsequently, you know, 1987 there was a India-Sri Lanka Accord signed during this Rajiv Gandhi's period. Then subsequently, then we have Operation Pavan launched, Operation Pavan, to curb this LTTE movement, okay. So Operation Pavan was launched by Indian government. And you know, then what happened, India and Sri Lanka now, okay, so they were part of different organizations like, you know, SAARC, because Sri Lanka is also member of South Asian Association, right. Then we have another organization, regional organization, is BIMSTEC. In BIMSTEC also we have common membership. Then we have another organization in which we have membership is Indian Ocean Regional Association, IORA. So in these political, along with UN, at the same time Commonwealth, these are extra things, but these are the main regional organizations in which both Sri Lanka and India enjoy membership. Then what happened in the recent times, if you have remembered, Sri Lanka has suffered huge economic crisis, okay. So as economic crisis deepened, even India has been at the forefront in giving aid and the support financially to Sri Lanka. So when we are giving this aid, so many opposition parties at that point of time has said, as we are giving aid and help what Sri Lanka has required, so now we have to take back that Kachativu Island from Sri Lanka. So this is the right time to use it. That is what some people have suggested. But then what happened, what are the negatives or lows between India and Sri Lanka relations is, you know, there is pro-China tilt in Sri Lanka. So the major government is always in tilt of China, and you know, China is developing Colombo port, Hambantota port, which is part of string of pearls theory. You know what is string of pearls theory, okay. So in China wants to surround India by developing a massive infrastructure projects, okay, or ports in the Indian Ocean region. This is called string of pearls. It will be like a string of pearls, okay. So then what is another issue we have with respect to fishermen? Fishermen is also one issue, okay. And sometimes big brother attitude of China, these are, sorry, India, big brother attitude of India. So these are the troublesome things which are there between India and Sri Lanka relations. So these things have to be settled, okay. So then we can improve our relations. And whenever you see, whenever there is a bilateral exchange, when Indian Prime Minister or the presidents or any other foreign minister visit Sri Lanka, or if Sri Lankan counterparts visit India at that same time, okay, so always this fisherman issue is going to be on the table, okay. So in that way we didn't have any clear-cut solution for this problem. So then what you can suggest as a way forward, always in international relations, you have to suggest confidence building measures, okay, or people to people connect. This have to be the solution, because we have historical, religious and cultural ties. At the same time, you can also say soft power diplomacy, or sports also you can say, you know, we have cricket also a common factor. these type of things you have to suggest, okay? So to normalize the relations between two countries which are bilaterally important, okay? So then what is the prelims question given in the previous video? You can see here, consider the following statements. Green hydrogen is a procedure is produced by burning hydrogen gas with coal and releasing carbon dioxide as a byproduct. Is this question correct? No, right? Is this statement right? Because green hydrogen is only produced from renewable sources, like solar energy or wind energy. There is no release of any greenhouse gases. So this statement automatically is wrong. Then we have second statement, Nation Green Hydrogen Mission aims to make India as a global hub for production, usage and export of green hydrogen and its derivatives. I told you what are the derivatives in the previous class. We have green ammonia and green methanol. These are the two main derivatives of this particular green hydrogen. So those are again used as fuels, or you can use it as renewable sources. So this is correct option. So answer here is only 2. Okay. Then today's practice question, you can see elephant pass, sometimes seen in the news, mentioned in the context of affairs of which of the following countries? Try to answer. This was already asked by UPSC in the previous year. Then the mains question, India is an age-old friend of Sri Lanka. Discuss India's role in recent crisis in Sri Lanka in the light of preceding statement. Okay, so you can say India and Sri Lanka have traditional friendship. In this context, you have to suggest what did India do to help Sri Lanka in its economic crisis. Okay, so how to come out of the economic crisis, what is the role of India? You have to answer in the comment section. Okay, so try to answer in the comment section. Try, when you are including bilateral relations, try to diversify your answer by writing political relations, cultural relations, economic relations, defense relations. If you have seen, there are some exercises which we are conducting in defense. Linux we have, Sri Lanka, India, Navy exercises we have, and we have Dosti. Okay, like this, and you have to include political, means you can use this SAARC, BIMSTEC and all. Okay, IORA, what I told you. Like this, you have to diversify multiple points. When you diversify, you will get extra marks. Okay, so try to include as many dimensions as an energy, if there is any cooperation agreement and all. So what are the challenges we have and how to overcome those challenges? What is the way forward? This should be the approach in any answer to IR question. Okay, so as we have reached the end of the video today, we have discussed about what is this Kachativu controversy about and how did it create a rift between political parties in India, and why Tamil Nadu wants this Kachativu to be retrieved back to India, and why the fishing community wants this Kachativu from both the sides, along with the relations between India and Sri Lanka in a brief way. So these are the things which we have discussed as part of this video. I hope you found this video informative. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.